So hello everyone. Today uh, we will continue coding um, our project that take to create an account and manage that accounts or list of accounts by adding a new account, removing account, changing account, and we save all that data inside files. And also we saw how we delete that files if we want to remove an account from that list. So firstly, I would like to talk about a bug. I found that bug inside the add function. So we need to fix that one by what? By just adding the extension inside the searching process. Nice. So we will try. The bug was like that. So we try to what to if we try to create an account, okay, let's say we try to create an account and that account ID is already exist in our list. It's not allowed to make another account using the same name. So here, let's say we have account one, for example. We save the name with extension, with the file extension, account1.txt. So while here in our searching, we need to search for account one only. So it will say that that user ID is valid, which is totally wrong. So just fix that bug by using what? By adding this simple code to the add function inside account manager. Now, as I talked before, we try to what to now to protect the data inside um, inside that textual file that we created. So the password is the sensitive data, as you know, in real world. So we need to make encryption process for that one. I choose that type of encryption process technique. It's very simple, very easy to use, and it's also a good idea to teach students how we make substitutions for a string, because this technique is based on that one. So this kind of cipher, starting for mapping alphabetic, here is a simple example. Just use a capital letters. So the same technique can be used for any other letters, small letters, for example, numbers, and whatever. So here we have the normal, order for the alphabetic with capital letter. Now here we did a shifting process, so we need a shift process. So I think here the shifting is 15. So as you can see, A, B, C will be what in this position now of array. So you can see, and any letters becomes on the end, we move it to here. Nice. So it's a kind of substitutions. Now let's say we want to encrypt high word, for example. This is the original text, and this is the cipher or the text after we encrypt the original ones. So as a process, you can see that original rectangle, we try to take H and match it with the new shifting map. So if you can see H match T, so we put T. Nice. Now we can move because we have I here. So I with what? With U. So we replace that with U. Nice. And we move space. We don't have a space here, so we keep it as a space. You can see W matching with what? With I. So and so on. You can continue encrypted that text. For decryption, which is the opposite one, now we need, because two operations to do. So we need to encrypt that password before we save it inside the file, and we need to what? Also to decrypt that password after we read encrypted data from a file. We need to decrypt that one. Um, so as a map, I prefer to make a simple map. So I will use what? I will use the all ASCII code of what that we have on our table. So you can see here, for example, small letter, the ASCII code is 103. So if we try to do the same process, okay, let's say we're shifting by 1. So we will increment that 103 with 104. So J will match H, as we saw before on this process. So we will start trying to coding now that one. So I think it's clear now to start one. So let me start create a header file. Nice. I will call it what? Cipher. So we will create a class called the cipher. And here, as I said before, we try to avoid that guard and we use ones. Okay. So I create a class called cipher. Okay, it should be the same name here, you know, to make our code pretty. So now what's the attributes should be here inside that class? We need two attributes. Firstly, we need a string, nice, and this string represent what? Text original, nice. So that attribute will represent the original text, and we need another string called what? The encrypted text. Okay, I will call it what? Text cipher. Here we have a problem. So I need to include that string, and here don't forget to use std. Nice. Okay. That attribute should be what? Should be private. Now the most critical thing here, I need a shift. As I explained before here, we need to do a shift for a map. So that number of shift is very critical. Okay, because if someone know that number, it will be a problem. So he can crack your encryption process. So first thing, I don't want anyone to see that one or to check that value. So I will make it a private. Nice. Second thing, I don't want anyone, or I don't want to give anyone permission to change the value of that one. So what we use a const, and I will call what? Shifts. So I will give it a number 1 just to see how the processing will be run. After that, you can change that one. But be careful after you change that one. Now, if I set that shifts for 1 and I create accounts, nice, and let's say we have already accounts in our database. Now, if I change that one, I make it, for example, 10 or 5 or whatever, that any number I like it, nice. Now, if I change that number, this map, the lower letters here, lower capital letters here, okay, this group will be changed. So if it's changed, you can see the matching will be also changed. So be careful. So the old accounts need to update all previous passwords based on that one. I will not take that one. You can make it as a task because it's easy. Now if you know how to do that, you can make a function to update all passwords for all accounts for that new one if you make an update. But I don't prefer now. We will make it a const integer one. Nice. I will make it one. And now we need to do what? Need to do some public methods. So of course we will start with what? With constructor, with what? With also destructor. Now we need to get a set and get for that two attributes. Nice. So I will make a get and set for that two attributes. So because we need to get that one, so I will say what? Get nice. Sorry, I make a copy. So we have a get now for that function. Okay, so it's easy functions that we need. Now we need to do that encryption and decryption. So I will make it. Just in one function. Okay, let me spell that one good. So okay, I just make a one function that do the all process. Okay, I will not split it for encrypt and decrypt. So it's the same function. It will do both processes. Okay, based on the condition we will create it inside it. So now we create that header file. So we need what? We need the CPP file. I don't need a header because I already created that one. Okay. Great. I don't know. So I need what? Cipher. Uh, let's start with what? With the constructor and what? Destructor. So autocomplete. So here I need to do what? Text cipher equal what? Text original equal what? So I will just initialize it as an empty string. Nice. Let's move to the what? To the destructor. So here in destructor, I will just try to see out an info message for user to show them that what cipher processing is what is finished. So each time I destroy that one, I told I told that one what? I told the user I already destroyed that one. So because I use cout, I need to include what? Nice. I don't want to make uh, the compiler angry, so we try to fix that one. Now let me move and try to implement the get and set because it's easy. So here I will say what? Get text. Which one I need here? I need the original. Okay. But I need to return it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's check. Yeah, we don't have any problem. And now what we need to do is to do what set. So I will call what text, and here I set what the cipher. So don't confuse me. Okay. And also we need. So here I finish what I finished doing set and get functions for that attribute. I don't need the set and get for what for shifting because that's the idea to make it private and const as I explained before. So now let's move to that crazy function or the most sophisticated function in our case. Nice. So let me try to collapse all that function. So first thing is a void. So now, how I can do both encryption and decryption things inside same function. So how that function can recognize which operation it has to do. So simply I will use a technique, a simple technique. So I will check if I want to encrypt the data, okay, I will set the text or the original text and I will make the cipher, because here when we create a constructor, we make them both empty string. Nice. So now on the encryption process, I will set that one. So that one will not be empty. So cipher will be what? Or text cipher will be empty. So now I will check. If that one is not empty, that's the meaning is encryption process. Otherwise, the what? The cipher is not empty, which is the opposite process now, which is decryption. So in decryption process, I will set the cipher and I will keep original empty. And I will did what external else for any other happening process. So for example, if the user set both of them, now we have a problem. So we need to show a message or error message for that user. So let me start with the encryption process. So firstly, I will check what? I will check the length, which is the size of that string is greater than what? Greater than 0. So we have a text inside that one. Okay, so we will do what? Encryption process. Nice. Else, if what? Same condition, but as I mentioned, not original here. I will use what? I will use cipher. Okay, so now if the cipher is not empty, so what? So it's the opposite one, which is what? Decryption. Okay, I will do the opposite one, decryption process. And else, now we have a problem. If both, okay, so now our function get confusing. So we need to print that error for a developer. Okay, so this is our switch technique to make that single function do both processes at the same time. Okay, so now firstly I need to get the length of that one. Of course I can do the same thing inside the loop. Okay, but let me just do that one because I need a loop to be more clear for you. So now I need a loop because what? I need to start reading my original string character by character. So I will start declare a position from 0 because string is an array of character. Position is greater than less than length, and I will make what? Position plus plus. Okay, so that loop should do what? Should doing reading string character by character. Okay, so here I will read that one. Okay, read string car by car. Okay, yeah, nice. Okay, ignore that warning. It's not a big deal. So now the point, if you see here, I need to get the ASCII code. I want to get the ASCII code of that character. Let's say H. So we need 104 to get that one, and so on for other characters if you can see. Okay, I don't want to create a dictionary. It's